How easy is it to beat a boss with just one Paragon? Well, I think it should be pretty simple given that everything is on easy mode this time round, so let's give it a shot. For starters, we're starting off on round 39 with the ability to buy or rather sell every single one of these obstacles. So let's go ahead and do just that, and also let me find the hitbox for me to click on these things in the first place. Now, since we're going for a one Paragon only challenge, this means that we want to go with the cheapest defense possible for, well, everything, at least until tier 5. So we're going to save up for the highest degree Paragon possible, in which case we're going to use the Goliath Doom ships, aka spoilers. So for tier 1, we're going to use a bottom half sticky bomb, and we'll see whether it can defeat Bloonarius easily, which I think it can, considering that the boss is at 50% health, so it should be pretty easy. But that means we have to spend quite a bit of time doing our farming, or rather farm properly, which is a bit of a challenge, but I think we can accomplish this. So we're going to start off with getting bottom half bolts as much as possible anyway. Don't forget we have access to Geraldo, but unfortunately we can't really place his Quincy action figure because it's not going to be worth a lot by the time we can sell it. So we're going to ignore that, and we're going to use this as our farming for the time being. And we'll see how much money it takes before we can go ahead and grab ourselves a bottom half ninja. Okay, so now this time it can get the job done, I hope. But we still died to 142, which is honestly quite a bit surprising. So what we can do instead is, instead of immediately upgrading to favorite traits, we can actually add the second bomb shooter right here. Okay, and there we have it. We have finally defeated Bloonarius Elite Tier 1 without spending too much money, of course. So we're going to leave it as such, as actually sell most of our defenses so that we can prioritize 100% on farming, at least for the time being. Although I will go ahead and get myself a bit of grape shots and hot shots so that we can survive for a while. Now, of course, still early into the game, so we can actually go ahead and get ourselves led to go. We could have caught these two leads earlier, but we didn't, and that's fine. I could also get myself a balloon trap and then place it at this intersection right here, which would be actually perfect to collect money off these balloons. Well, you know, also dealing quite a bit of damage to them without worrying too much. Although I still have to figure out how to deal with the White Class balloons later, although we'll come to that later on. For the time being, however, we should probably focus on getting our actual farms up. So I'm going to utilize this half of the map here to get my farms, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a top half farm, or rather as many top half farms as we can. Okay, I just realized that this rubber to gold alchemist can only hit the odd number of rounds. That's to say, it can only hit like this build track, but it's a bit of a mistake on my end, but it should be fine. It's not going to be useful after round 60 regardless, but still, I should have made a better decision there. Oops, and we somehow weren't able to deal with the Regal balloons. So I've added more grape shots, hopefully that solves part of the issue, and also I'm going to go ahead and get myself a single bomb shooter. This will help us greatly later on, especially for dealing with the cell mix from the White Class balloons. And also, yeah, I've upgraded everything to grape shot here, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Okay, and now we have our first BRF, which means we're going to go ahead and get our second BRF, although it's this, what do you call it, the engineer and the alchemist won't make a lot of money from here on out just because of the way the game works. Also, Geraldo is finally level 9, which means we can use this fertilizer on our farms and therefore gain ever so slightly more money out of him. So let's go ahead and use that to our advantage. Okay, so I've gotten myself a third farm, and this time we're going to get our village and upgrade the bottom half. Okay, so in terms of farming, I think we'll pause here because we will now want to focus our efforts into our tier 2 defenses. Now there's a number of tier 2 defenses we could get, and also praying that we don't die. So what we're going to do is we could go for a mat again, but I don't think that is ideal. Or we can actually still go for a mat, but this means we're going to get a lot more bomb shooters as backup, which I think should be fine. So let's go ahead and get ready for our mat, or rather save up for our mat. Also, I'm buying radar scanner just so that this fella can hit the 159 camo leads and therefore give us a little bit more money. I think we can actually sell all of our bolt farms. We don't really need it. Well, we definitely don't need a balloon trap and this fella anymore, so we can get rid of those. Let's see how many bolt farms we could sell. 2 of them just for our map, but we definitely need more for our recursive cluster soon. Okay, attempt number 3 trillion. Let's just see how this goes. Okay, we're almost done with Bloonarius. I had to get myself more glaives just to survive. But we're doing fine regardless. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and resume my farming by getting more PRFs. Okay, and we finally defeated tier 2. However, we can't really do much just here because we still have to deal with the mod class Bloons. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our farms down. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a monkey city, and we're going to get ourselves a monkeyopolis as well, which unfortunately I don't think is actually I don't think our range is actually long enough to do so, but can we actually get it though? I wonder if we... I think we have no choice but to overclock it, unfortunately, but that's exactly what we're going to do. Thankfully, this is unranked, so we could take our time, but at least we managed to get our overclock up, so now we can get our monkeyopolis. Okay, so now that this round is over, let's go ahead and reevaluate our defenses. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a 320 village right over here. And I should probably get some other defenses alongside that. For example, actually, never mind. Let's go ahead and place down another recursive cluster here and see how well this works. Okay, so it's round 75 and I finally maxed out on my farming. Minus the both farms, of course. Now, unfortunately, I had to get myself a Ring of Fire just so that I wouldn't die to round 72. And maybe round 75 needed that as well. But in terms of farming, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of my boat farms, and that should be it. Now, as for what Paragon I'm going to get for tier 3, which I have to, I'm going to go with the Glaive Dominus, which won't be our final Paragon, trust me on that. As for location, probably here. I think here might be the best place, since if we can get our Glaive Paragon up on time, it's actually pretty easy to deal with. So it's round 79, we got the recipe for Glaive Dominus, so let's sell all our other things that we don't need. Now for starters, since we're not going to go for both Paragon, I think it's safe to actually sell these, and we can rebuy them later anyway. I have to sell my 2 most expensive farms, and we're still short on 16k, which means I have to sell this fella. And we are close actually to getting Glaive Dominus, which is kind of maddening, but I'm just going to let it run a bit. There we go, because we can still get a Glaive Dominus right about now. And even though it's degree 1 and Bloonarius has 1 million health points, it's still pretty easy to deal with, all things considered. So I just need to leave this fella as strong, and we shouldn't have any issues going forward. And voila, that is Bloonarius tier 3 defeated quite easily. We still have to get rid of this bad, but as for our defenses, we're going to go ahead and go with a Flying Fortress. And since we can, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves biplane, just so that it's easier on the camo detection. And we could almost rebuy all of our farms without any issues. So let's go ahead and quickly rebuy all of them, including our boat farms. And that's it for our farming. I mean, of course we could improve our farming more. I'm still going to use the Geraldo ability, which I conveniently forgot about. But other than Geraldo's ability, we could technically still go for sniper and heli farming, but we don't really have space for heli and sniper farming, and it's not that effective. So we're just going to leave it at that, and we're going to ramp up our defenses massively. How we're going to do that? We are going to get, first off, a permabull right here. Next, we're going to actually upgrade Geraldo to level 20 so that we can buy this, the Paragon Totems, because that is incredibly useful. Okay, so next round is going to be round 100. You might be thinking, okay, Calplus, what are you going to get for your tier 4 defenses? Well, we are going to get ourselves a Glaive Dominus again, but this time with a high degree. Yeah, I know that this means that I wasted some quite a bit of money on Paragon Totems, but we got a high degree out of our Boomerang Paragon, so it's fine. And besides, now we have a Flying Fortress to help us deal with the spawns, which is also pretty useful because we want to rack out the port count for our Flying Fortress. So without further ado, here we go. And will you look at that, the Glaive Dominus is shredding Bloonarius as if it's nothing, because it really is nothing to him. So let's go ahead and defeat this fella, which we did, and we're going to play some more Paragon Totems. Now of course I'm going to have to sell this fella because I don't want him to steal pops from our Flying Fortress, because we want this fella to accumulate as much pops as possible. So I'll probably go ahead and grab myself some more aces as well to help him out. For example, we can get an ace right here, and we can get a Sky Shredder. And we're going to get Sharper Dust as well and set this fella to Wing Monkey just so that it can do more damage as well. Now it's out of range of the this fella, but it's still fine. Which I died too, but that's a slightly bit embarrassing, honestly. And I somehow live. I'm not going to question anything. Let's get an Icicle Impale to actually help us out here so that we don't necessarily have to die to these fellas. Especially since it's a 45 Moist, which is going to be slightly problematic. And I think I'm going to leave the ice here since it's not going to do that much damage to the Moist class Bloons either way. Although I do have to remember to place down my Paragon tokens, because if I forget, it's going to be kind of disastrous. Okay, it is now round 120 and we are about to get ourselves the Goliath Doomship. Now, we have accumulated 7 million pops on our Flying Fortress. Okay, that's actually the most amount of pops I've accumulated from a Flying Fortress, which I think is quite impressive. But let's go ahead and sell everything else that we don't need. Okay, we have $1 million to play around, which is, I will admit, not a lot, but we can still make the most out of this. But keep in mind, the Goliath Doomship is worth 765k, which means you can actually spend a little bit more money than you think we could. And also, given that we are limited to 5 towers anyway, there's not much we could do in the first place. But we should still get a respectable degree 70 plus Paragon. 68, I will take that as well, thank you very much. And we're going to set its targeting here, and not to mention because of the 50, how many percent ability cooldown is it? 75% ability cooldown rate, which is not as much as the normal version, but it's still enough for us to make use of this ability a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. So let's also go ahead and grab our other towers that's going to help us. For example, Cripple Moab. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and place it on the top half of the map. We got our Super Brittle, we got our village supporting it. Our sniper, we can place it on the top of this building here and still be within range of the village. Of course, let's not forget about our Glue Storm. And you know what? This is fine. We can afford 50k money doing absolutely nothing. And let's see how fast we can defeat Bloonarius with just one Paragon, aka the Goliath Doomship. And also, kind of surprising that we're leaking to Selmic Bloons, I'll be honest. So, good thing, I guess, that I didn't buy anything else, because now I know I can use it to get a Bloon Solver so that I can deal with my problems. Now, let's go ahead and activate the Goliath Doomship ability, and boom! We have cleared one skull instantly, which is not a lot, but it's quite a lot in terms of percentage of damage dealt to the boss. Man, this is so satisfying watching the health bar just dropping down like massively without any explanation whatsoever. Like, I know when I say without explanation, I mean, you know, it's because of the ability, but come on, it's cool. It's cool to look at. And we defeated Bloonarius before he even made his first turn, which I think is kind of funny and impressive at the same time. So yeah, we have defeated Bloonarius before this Goliath Doomship even dropped his bombs, but there we go, we have done it. It's a fun one overall. I would love to see more boss events where we start around 39, because not only is it much quicker, it also cuts off the need for all the early game micro precision that you sort of need. But other than that, it's been a pretty fun one, even though live stream wasn't that fun. But still, hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you have anything else to add, and I'll see you guys in the next video.